Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Chuco Chica. Today, I have two special guests with me, the unstoppable founders of the Girls Run the 915, Daniela and Arianne, a run club that's all about empowering women by women. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us. Honored to be here.
We're so excited.
They are crazy with me and agreed to meet up here in a trail on the west side of El Paso, Texas. So we're here since 7 in the morning, cold, but we're getting through it, and I love their passion. For those watching and tuning in on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we are currently at a trail in El Paso, Texas. And as we go on in this episode, you're going to witness the sunrise with us. Okay, so let's get started.
So hi, I'm Arianne. I grew up in El Paso, went to El Paso High School, graduated in 2019. I'm 22 years old. I also just recently graduated from the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, and I'm going to law school in August. I've always wanted to be an attorney, so that's super exciting. What else? I love to run, as you can tell. I also love cycling. I've been doing that since I've been injured, and yeah, I love to read, I love to write, love digital media creation, so I love what you're doing here, and
Thank you.
that's pretty much me.
Awesome. Daniela, go for it.
Yes, well, I'm Daniela. I was born in Maryland, and then I moved here when I was like 5 years old. So I've lived here pretty much my whole life, raised here. I went to Coronado High School, graduated same year as Arianne. I'm currently a student at UTEP, computer science. I also obviously love to run. I dabble in yoga here and there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Right now, my life's just school and run club.
Awesome. So how did you two meet, and when did the light bulb moment strike to create this passion project?
I guess Daniela, I can tell how we met, and I can tell a little bit about the light bulb.
So Arianna always plays around that we're truly like the invisible string because we met in third grade at St. Matthew's. We were only at St. Matthew's for a year together, and then we were in confirmation again together. What was it, like 8th grade, 9th grade?
Like 9th grade, 10th grade, I think.
9th grade, 10th grade. And then we did NHI, which is the National Hispanic Institute here in El Paso. We did that in 9th grade, and we even went on a trip together for that. So we reunited again. And then after that, we kind of didn't like see much of each other throughout the rest of high school and college. And then recently when Arianne came back, I don't know if you want to take it from here.
Yeah, so when I came back, well, I guess like we had always kind of seen each other on social media. We both just like mess around with TikTok. We're definitely not like influencers or anything. We just like to post. And I think I had noticed that Daniela was running a lot, and I always kind of knew she ran because of like I remember like just seeing pictures in high school and stuff. But then I like was like, oh, I see she's like doing distance and stuff, and we would always just like comment on each other's TikToks. And then I reached out one day and I was like, hey, like, do you want to go on a run? And we did, and we ran 4 miles. I remember that vividly. It was 4 miles. We were both running a 10K that weekend, which was 6.2 miles. So that was like our little, call it like a little shakeout run before you run the race. So yeah, and then after that, we just started hanging out and became really close friends.
Well, also the turkey trot piece.
Yeah. Oh, also the turkey trot. Yeah. So we actually ran the turkey trot together, and I think that can go into the light bulb moment. So we not purposefully ran the turkey trot together. Yeah. We had like both known that we were going, and I had gone with some friends, and then I kind of lost them, and then like Daniela's boyfriend and his cousin were there, and we lost them, so we were just like, well, whatever, like
we're just two girls lost in the crowd of turkey trot.
Two girls lost in the turkey trot, and we're running, like, let's go. So yeah, and then after that, I feel like we just really started running together. We started training for the El Paso Half Marathon with one of our friends together, and so it was really cool to be able to train. Especially, it was a pretty strenuous training cycle. We were both injured at one point. We were both trying to get faster. We were both sick. Like, there's a lot of things were happening. We were putting in a lot of mileage. So, yeah. And then in terms of the light bulb moment, I think it kind of started at the turkey trot. But after that, we kind of just kept joking around. We always see all women's run clubs everywhere. Like, we're very much chronically on the internet, especially TikTok. And so seeing all of these videos and kind of being like, why isn't there an all women's run club here? And so I guess you can go from there. You texted me and you can kind of tell that story.
Well, always send each other TikToks back and forth, like, look at this club here, look at this club in Austin, look at this club in LA, look at this club in New York. And every time we would see each other, we would joke around like, what if we just started an all-girls run club here in El Paso? And it was just like a constant joke until, I don't know why, one night I was like, we need to do this. We need to do this.
Yeah.
And it was like 8 p.m. and I remember texting Arianne. Arianne, by the way, goes to sleep at like 10 p.m. every single day. So I was like, oh man, she's gonna go to sleep soon. So let me take it.
Oh.
So I text her at 8 and I'm like, Arianne, we need to start a run club. She's like, okay, yeah, I'm down. I'm like, no. Like, we need to do it right now. What's the name? Let's think of names right now. We went on ChatGPT and started looking up names. They were all horrible, by the way. And Arianne
I just
suggested,
randomly said, I was like, well, let's do Girls Run the 915, but if we don't like it, we can do it as filler, because we're both very type A, so we made the whole document, we started the branding guide, and I was like, well, let's just put Girls Run the 915, so there's something on the document, you know? And then we just never changed it, and it sucks. So.
It's good.
Yeah.
yeah.
And people seem to love it too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think it fits pretty well too, because we really have been trying to run like the whole 915, and it's clear on what the run club is, girls. So I think you did a very well job.
Yes, you did an amazing job. I love it. So leading up to your first run, you guys had an epic turnout. What process did you guys go through setting up an event physically and then promoting it on your socials?
So we're both super type A, like really type A, so even the branding, like people don't believe us that we fully created all the branding overnight. Like everything was done overnight in probably like 3 hours. But
maybe we should go into background to why we were able to do it. So
yeah.
So I was talking to you about it earlier, but I was president of Charge, which is an organization at UTEP, also all female. It's actually the largest all female org on UTEP. Yeah, and so she was also president of Panhellenic, which is all the sororities at USC. So that both played to our strengths. We kind of knew already how to like organize such a large group, and we also knew how to organize an event, how to do like all the social media stuff. So that really played a key factor for both of us.
Yeah, for sure. So we've already put on really large events. So I feel like all the branding and stuff, we were able to do it super quickly because we had that experience. And I even remember I texted the girl who's also my best friend, who was my VP of PR when I was on Panhellenic. I don't think you know this, but I was like, hey, like, what color palette do you like? And she's actually the one that was like, I really like the red and the pink. That's my favorite one. And so even just having that support of somebody who's also done like a lot of marketing and people that I know. But yeah, so we've both put on large scale events of hundreds of people. I mean, I had to put on a rush, which is like Greek life recruitment, which was like 1,000 people. So we just put on really large scale events, and I think that really helped us because we thought of everything. But I think what was kind of scary about this is like I was telling Daniela before, you know, for example, when I put on like Greek life recruitment, like yeah, there was like 3,000 people involved, but there's been like 15 people before me who've done it. But for this is like nobody's ever done this here. That's an all women's run club. So you're kind of starting fresh, but I think that having that mindset of I've done something like this before really helped. And that's kind of how we were able to like promote it, and also looking at other we were looking at a lot of other all women's run clubs and kind of what they do and how they promote. And a big inspiration of ours is also Endorphins. It's this really big run club. They're basically like in every major city now. I'm obsessed with them. Like I could talk to you about Endorphins for hours. Daniela, I was like, Daniela, Endorphins. Like text her, I was like, I need to be like Tyler from Endorphins. But they're this huge run club, and I love that their energy is very positive and happy, and like tapping into like the relationships that running creates. So I think that's also for us what we have tried to do through this run club.
Adding to that, I love how your run club is different because there's pacers. I feel like that's something that you guys stand out in. Can we talk a little bit about the idea behind that, including how you guys find your pacers?
Yeah, and I can say, you know, where we found our pacers, I can kind of the idea. So that was my idea. But it's really Endorphins' idea. So Endorphins, they have, like I said, they're major run clubs everywhere, but they start in New York. And I would always see these videos, and I was sending them to Sonny, and I'm like, I want to be this guy. And he's basically like, can I have my 8-minute pacer? Can I have my 9-minute pacer? And they're just like in Central Park, and so that's where I got the idea, because I really thought like, wow, like it's really cool for either beginner runners or people who run a certain pace because they're training to be able to be with someone who's keeping that pace the entire time.
Right.
Yeah, and I think we also really wanted pacers because we really did want to lean into like this run club is for every single pace, whether you're a beginner or like super fast. And I feel like having pace groups really aids with that, because you're running the pace that you set your mind to and not what everyone else is doing and paying attention to what everyone else is doing. So that's been awesome to see girls in those groups. As for where we find them, we kind of just put up a question box like a couple of days before the run. We were like, who wants to pace? And luckily we had a bunch of people who wanted to help us out, and we still do have a lot of girls reaching out being like, hey, can I help out with this? Can I help out with that? And we've actually kind of kept it pretty consistent. All our pacers have been wanting to keep coming back and helping us. So that's been awesome too.
I feel like doing that, it's less intimidating, like you said, for beginning runners in general. And it's just a community of, I guess, bonding, because it's not, no one's left behind. And so that's what I really like about your club.
That's the thing that we always talked about, is like no one's left behind. If I have to go back and run with the last girl, I will.
Yeah, that's something that we kept saying too. Like, one of us is going to be with the very, very last girl, no matter what. Like, we're finishing all together. And that's another reason why we actually also added a run walk group, which I don't think I've ever seen at any other club. So that's our very beginner pace group. So if you've never ran before.
I saw that. One of you, are you guys both the run walk?
Yeah, so we've both been leading it. I've been leading it for the last 2 weekends just because I sprained my ankle 6 weeks ago. Like, everybody's heard about that. I know, it's so annoying. I'm like,
No. Talk about it, because it's when you started run club.
basically started run club a week after I sprained my ankle. I sprained my ankle 2 weeks before the El Paso half marathon, which I'd been training for 3 months. Anyways, I'm not mad about it, but so yeah, and so because of that, it's actually been really cool because I feel like I'm a beginner runner. I just got cleared to run a mile for like the first time in like 2 months, and so I feel like I've been able to do the run walks and I've been able to lead them, but in some ways I kind of feel like a beginner too, where I'm like, yeah, like you ran a straight mile, I just ran a straight mile, you know. But that's been really cool to see because I've never been on that side of things. Like, when I started running, I had already done a lot of spin, so I had the endurance built up, so I didn't maybe struggle as much. I think for me it was more like learning how to run the right way. And so it's been really nice to be on that side of things and talk to those girls and talk to how they want to there's construction on the mountain, and kind of like hear how they want to get into running and be able to give them tips, and then just have the time to like literally chat with them, because the way that we've been doing it is like, you'll run for 5 minutes, you'll walk for 5 minutes, you run for 5 minutes, you walk for 5 minutes. And so that's been really cool because there's times where we're all walking, so I can kind of chit chat with them.
I love that. We all start from somewhere. Who inspired you to start running and teach you the right way?
You can start. You've been running long.
Okay, well, I guess I'll tell my whole spiel. Well, in middle school, I used to swim a lot. That used to be like my primary sport. And my coach, I think in PE in middle school, they always made you do like a mile around the school or something, and be like, go run a mile during PE. And I would always do pretty good at it. So the coach would always be like, join the cross country team, join the cross country team. And I would always be like, no, I love swimming. Stop telling me what to do. And then 8th grade came around and a lot of my friends joined track and they convinced me to join. And it was really fun and was something that came pretty easy to me thanks to the swimming endurance. And then going into high school, I joined the cross country and track team. And I ran all 4 years varsity. And then my sophomore year, I actually went to USATF Nationals.
Oh, awesome.
For cross country, as well as regionals for cross country. And then come college, I stopped running my first 2 years just because, I don't know, I didn't have a coach anymore. I didn't have a team anymore. I didn't know how to like work out on my own really. And then once I joined Charge, they do a run club too at a national level. And they had like a train for your first half marathon program. Sorry. So I did that program and that pushed me to do my first half marathon. And after that, I just picked up running and didn't stop again.
I love that.
Yeah, so I kind of started running out of necessity. I have not been running since high school. I was like actually like hated sports. I really never did sports. I hated working out. I started working out in college, which is crazy because it's such a big part of my life now. And so the way that I was actually pretty much just like strictly weightlifting for 2 years. And then I basically started running out of necessity because I was Panhellenic president, which was like literally low-key a full-time job. Like you're getting like texts at midnight, but you're also getting texts at like 6 in the morning. So really good time. But and then I was studying for the LSAT, which is the law school admissions test, and then I was also a full-time student. And so I kind of didn't have time for anything, especially once I started studying for the law school admissions test, but running. So I started running my junior year, and I would literally just go run like for 20 minutes or 30 minutes on USC's campus because that's all I had time for. And then I ran the turkey trot, which was my first race, and I was hooked. I was like, oh my gosh, like,
Wow.
and I feel like I did pretty well for a beginner. Like I'd literally never run a race before. So I was really proud, and my aunt was like, no, Arianne, like you could get a lot faster, like you could definitely do distance. And then I ran, after the LSAT was over, I ran my first 10K, which is 6.2 miles in Redondo Beach. It was beautiful. We got to run on the ocean. The turnaround point is at the sea, so when you're like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And then I ran, one of my friends was like, hey, like I want to run a half marathon, do you want to start training for it? And I ran my first half marathon in Napa, California on the vineyards, which was also really beautiful. I was sick though, so it was quite a test of endurance. But I think that that's where the light bulb and the switch really clicked, where I really fell in love with running, that it became like very cathartic, but it also, I actually trained for my first half marathon with one of my closest friends. And so her and I would literally go to Santa Monica and Venice on the beach, like on the, there's like a path, it's like it's kind of like a trail on the beach, on Saturdays, and we would just like run 10 miles together. And that is really where I was like, running with other people, there is like something that's really awesome and beautiful about it. Even though you're not talking, like being able to turn around and look at somebody and be like, we're doing this together, and it's always a good time. So yeah.
I love your guys' journey because you're coming from a background of running since you were a child, and then you're coming from someone you're coming from a journey that started in college.
Yeah, I could not run a mile.
Like I feel like that's so relatable, like because I feel the women in your club started as a child, or there's some women who start in college or are starting right now because of your club. So that's really beautiful that it's not just, I guess, one-sided, it's a little bit of both. Diving into behind the scenes of the magic, who runs the socials, the playlist wizard on Spotify, and the legal waiver. How do you guys divide responsibilities?
Well, okay, so I do the graphics and I edit the running journeys.
Okay.
And we kind of take turns on like answering DMs and emails just on whoever's like available at the moment.
Yeah, I pretty much do the video creation, all the recaps. That's me. I like write all the recaps, and I like make the voiceover before to like edit it, and then Daniela and I will record it together. And then I help her with the running recaps. I just do all the captions.
She did the Spotify playlist.
Yeah,
and the liability.
Yeah, and I did the Spotify playlist. So I've been really adding to that. I've actually been going to Rush Cycle, shout out them a lot. So their music is really good. I will literally just stalk their instructors and add music from them. And yeah, I did the liability waiver. As I said, I'm going to law school, so I really would like us to not get sued. You never know.
Yeah.
But I told Daniela, I was like, we need to do this. She was like, like, are we sure? And then she talked, like, we like had more conversation. We're like, yeah, we do. Okay. We need to not get sued.
Big, we were like, okay, we need to take some steps.
Yeah, because we're like, if we have 12 people, like, okay, but if we have 150 people and all eyes can't be on them at all times, like, we need to have something to make sure that we're chilling. So.
Yeah. Okay. So I love how you came up with the name and you came up with the logo together. Power couple. Talk about, something that's going to be released really soon that you're wearing right now. When is that being out?
Well, I don't know when this is getting released, but this will be released on March 30th at our Restore workout. It'll also be posted on our Instagram, so whoever's watching now, the link will probably be on there to purchase.
Also, there's a back. Like, I'm gonna mess up my hair, but it says "For the girls, by the girls" on the back in embroidery. So that's kind of our slogan now.
I love that. Okay, let's talk money. Have you guys made this passion project a side hustle? Is this the first step to making kind of, revenue?
Like Daniela describes it really well, where we're more like just I think actually you said it. We're like passionpreneurs. We're not really entrepreneurs. The whole point of this is to make it sustainable and to create a community that maybe we didn't necessarily have. So we're not really trying to monetize off of it, but just make it sustainable. So we'll start selling these hats and making a bit of profit off them. There'll be more merch to come. I won't say what, but there's stuff in the works. And so it's more about just being able to like give back to the community, but also, through the money that we make, be able to like buy different things, like whether that be like a speaker or whether that be gifts to give the people who have helped us.
More stickers.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of costs that come with even passion projects.
Okay, so with passion projects, to begin with, it does take a lot of your own assets or your own funds to fund your passion project. So I'm glad you guys are making it kind of a way to be sustainable for your project, because this is something we want to have for a good while here in El Paso. Working with other businesses and individuals, has the community around you helped? Has there been any positive stories to share? Has there been some businesses or other communities that hasn't been so positive that you've kind of overcome as well? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, in terms of like other businesses, it's been awesome. I mean, the first day we started, we already had like Crazy Monkey Stickers reach out. They were like, we want to make you guys some stickers. They're awesome.
For free. They sent us like 300 for free.
Yeah, they made us our stickers. And then we've also had, Restore reached out to us. We're working with them this weekend. And they were like, we want to offer your girls some refreshments, complimentary cryotherapy, complimentary compression. So that was awesome. There's been some coffee shops that have reached out. That also have wanted to work with us and want to do like little freebies too for our run club members. In terms of like other run clubs, a lot of them have been super supportive. I actually went to Live Athletics, I think, right before our run club started, and they were super cool about it. They let me like promote my run club, and they even like tagged the run club, and it's just been an awesome community. I always tell Arianne the running community is just a really beautiful community of people who are always happy and with a smile on their face. So it's cool to see all those people come together and help.
Yeah, and obviously we want to continue collaborating with run clubs. I would love to collaborate with Up and Running. I think they are like the OG run club. So if anybody from Up and Running is watching this,
we love you.
We love you. Love you. We know that you are the OG run club in El Paso. And yeah, I mean, we've also gotten run for it a lot. They put me on mic last time I was there to talk about us, so that was really scary but fun. And yeah, I mean, like Daniela said, businesses have just helped us so much. I've been going to Rush Cycle a lot since I've been injured, and like they have all of our stickers out. All the instructors have their stickers like everywhere on their water bottles and their computers, and a few of them have shown up to our run club, so that's also been really cool to get some other part of the active community as well that might not be runners. But
That's amazing. What are your goals for Run for the Girls 915?
yeah, so we like just started talking about this, and it's kind of crazy, but we really, I mean, there is definitely run clubs that are national and like once again endorphins, they're everywhere, but there's not an all women's run club that's everywhere. And so while we know that this will be in the future, like I said, I will likely be going to LA for law school. I don't know where, like don't ask me. But so that would be really cool to be able to expand that there. Obviously it's going to be harder, it's a harder market to tap into, but I think that that's like the ultimate goal, at least in terms of reach. But we can talk more about other goals, friend.
I guess, well, like short-term goals, our goal is just to really get girls into running. It's awesome to see girls who have never even ran a mile come out just because of our run club, like you said. Like we've even seen girls, I remember before our first run, they would DM us and be like, hey, I started running like for 5 minutes today just to get into shape, come to the run club. Yeah, and it's been awesome to see that, because I think that was our ultimate goal, to create a safe space where girls could tap into this sport and enjoy it. And we want to make it something that's fun for people, not something that they dread doing, because there's a saying actually that I used to hear in high school a lot. My sport is your sport's punishment. That's what they would refer to running as. And so I don't like that. I want running to be something that you enjoy, and I want it to be like a therapy for girls, and that's ultimately what we want to create for other girls.
And I think that's such a good point, because at the end of the day, I think it can be really intimidating to show up to like a lot of girls out here be like, I've never gone to a run club, because I just feel like everyone's really skilled, and that's not that might not all like be the case at every run club. There's a lot of really accessible run clubs, but I think just the idea of going to a run club is scary. So we've really in our marketing tried to be like, hey, this is quite literally for everyone. There's distance runners here. There's people, like you said, never run a mile. When I've been leading the walk run group, I like always ask the being like, is this anybody's first ever run, or like you haven't run in years? And so many people raise their hands. And so that's really awesome to see people also like pushing themselves. And then it's also amazing to see our like 8:30 runners, and like our pacer for 8:30, she's like a marathoner and she's insane, and she's so fast.
We have collegiate runners.
Yeah, we
high
have
school
collegiate
collegiate
runners,
like,
yeah.
But then we also have first timers, so it's awesome. Like the fast people motivate the beginners, and the beginners have like a space to share their experiences with other people. So
Yeah, and I think like you said, the fast people, or even the people who run distance, like I feel like leading the run walk group, they've asked me, and I'm be like, yeah, I've done this and this, and they're like, oh my god, I don't understand how you run like 10 miles, and I'm like, well, I didn't start that way. I very much started that I was like you. I could not run a mile down pavement. Like, I did not know how to run. I was running too fast. I just like didn't know. But obviously, you learn, and I think that's a big thing for us too. Is like we want to be educational, and obviously, like we'll say this: we are not running coaches. We are not professionals. We have both never run a marathon, so I can't help.
professional.
Yeah, we are not professionals. Like, neither of us have run a marathon, and we've only, well, not only, but we've done half marathons, 10K and 5Ks. But there's so much information that I didn't know, especially as somebody who like never had a running coach, like relied on my aunt who's a long distance runner, relied on TikTok, the internet to learn things, had to figure things out myself. And so it's nice to be like, this works, or this doesn't work, or this is what I tried, or this is what you can do. And girls are constantly DMing us for advice. So that's been really awesome too, to be like, we're just there for them. They don't have to like do the guesswork or try things out, because there's so many things that I tried out that I was like, I hate this, I'm never doing this again. So yeah.
You guys are those big sisters for running. And so that's what makes your group, your club so special. Can you guys share with us any upcoming events, when you usually have your runs, and where we can find you on your socials?
Yeah, so we're shooting for bi-weekly, primarily Sundays, but things do happen. Like this weekend, we're actually having it on Saturday because Easter is on Sunday, so we obviously don't want to do Easter Sunday. But this Saturday, we're having our third run club at Restore Hyper Wellness, and they do a lot of recovery treatments like cryotherapy and compression, which is something that they're offering complimentary to all our runners. We're hoping you'll join us Saturday. It's at 8:45. That's the time we usually meet at, but probably starting summer-ish, just because of how hot it gets in El Paso, we'll probably start a little earlier.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. We also have another upcoming event with Goliath's Coffee. That's gonna be 2 weekends from now. That's like 14th. Yeah, I was trying to do the math in my head. I did not go to school for math. So April 14th, probably the same time. We're gonna see if it's gonna start getting a little warmer, so depending on that. But there will also be Well Did Beauty there, which is like a jewelry company that you can make your own jewelry. So I mean, we're planning on getting matching bracelets. So but it'll be a really cute event, and it's very much for the girls, like the coffee, the jewelry. But we're really excited, and Goliath has been awesome to us. There'll also be some special menu items, so keep an eye.
Our runs are usually around a 5K.
Yes.
So, oops.
So yeah, can I talk?
Yeah, for sure.
So our runs are 5K, which is 3.2 miles, maybe like 3.1, sorry. I was thinking of a 10K. 3.1 miles, and that is pretty much the distance. It'll vary sometimes by like 0.3 of a mile. Maybe it'll be like 3.4 depending on the route. Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard. Once you start making routes, you're like, it's really hard to get the exact distance. Oops. Yeah, so it is really hard to make routes once you get down to it, but it is around that distance all the time. A lot of people have been asking us, are we going to do longer distances? Not on our run clubs, we won't. We want to continue this, making it accessible to people. That's enough to where skilled runners can get in like a good speed workout or even a little shakeout run, and where beginner runners can still run that. But we will, starting soon, probably as we both start half marathon training, start running in the weeks and invite people to run with us. It'll probably be still like, if we're running like 10 miles and you're training, you can come, but also if we're doing like a 2 mile easy run, you can join us. So we will start doing that soon, but that's more of a on the fringe, not yet.
Gotcha.
So there will never be a longer distance than a 5K though for our
We do
actual
have
run.
like a little side group. We call it our base group. One of our pacers, Nicole, she's been taking like a couple girls a week on base to run, and so that's where she gets to be like, okay, what are you guys feeling? You feeling 4 miles? You feeling 6? You feeling 1? So that's been a good little addition to our club as well.
That's been really cool. Nicole's awesome. So she's also a personal trainer. So that's been awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, again so much for coming out in the cold, in the mountain. We took a little
That's
trail
awesome.
here.
A little hike.
Yes. Share your Instagram with us. Are you guys on TikTok too? And that's pretty much it.
Well, we're just on Instagram, and our Instagram is Girls Run the 915, same as our name.
Yeah, TikTok, we mostly post our videos onto our personal pages. So
Gotcha.
you can also follow us. Mine's Arianne6. I think. I don't know what Daniela's is. But just look up Daniela Carillo. I don't know. But yeah, so we basically just will sometimes repost our videos back onto our TikTok, our personal TikToks. But
But our main focus is on Instagram.
yeah, our main focus is on Instagram. And yeah, our events are always going to be on there. Our flyers are always on there. And if you all ever need anything and want to DM us for running advice, feel free.
Also on Strava.
Oh,
That's an
yes,
important
That is super
social
important. I can't believe we forgot that.
Strava's like a workout Instagram, and we have like a run club on there, so that's where we'll post our routes, any info, any last minute info.
Gotcha.
So yeah, join us on Strava as well.
Awesome.
And the Strava link is in our link tree. I feel like a YouTuber. In our link tree.
Link in bio.
Link in bio. In our Instagram bio, it's in our link tree. So if you just click Strava, you will get there. And we also have a playlist on Spotify that I work really hard on. So, I haven't been able to run to it, so maybe y'all can run to it. But
Awesome. For those tuning in on YouTube, make sure to check out and follow our Spotify podcast, Apple Podcasts, and we are also on Audible. Thank you so much for joining on this episode, and we'll see you next Saturday. Adios.